So, I'm going to go ahead and start recapping. It has been a little while. So, this is the land of Vanzir. And you guys are outside. Actually, technically, you are currently very far from home, your home city of Arkala. Arkala is a big city of all sorts of different peoples that have come together and survive within these massive walls that protect them from the great beasts. And you all, or most of you, are no different. Warren, the Wendigo Paladin, Urist, the Dwarf Bard, and Adre, the Human Wizard, were betrayed by Quinn, the Harangon Fighter, and Clume, the Goblin Druid. Rocky was stolen. Rocky, it was discovered, was a keystone that would open up a portal to the Feywild. Chasing Quinn and Clume across the plains south of Arkala, the party found a forest where there was a gate. Approaching the gate, they were beset by a Yeth Hound, a human-faced beast with a terrifying howl, that they dispatched, and then tentatively entered the Feywild, where they met a curious race of beings. Anthropomorphic bees and moth-like creatures, along with very large watermelon-sized bumblebees that kind of dirtled about, harmless and happy to pollinate the various magical flowers in this glowing glade of the Feywild. They were introduced to a being known as Izode, a gigantic and mythical creature that looked like a black and yellow dragon. Izode was a bit of a drama king, we're not sure, but told the party of a bit more of the nature of the Exiled One, a deity that apparently is a god killer and is on the way to besiege Arkala and try to put Raknal back in the ground. Raknal is not present in the Feywild. Seems that they were left behind or stayed behind. And the party, after Izode said, "Oh yes, treat our guests as if they were your own," are now getting bit handsied on by these beings.
And
But
kind of suggested that we're not allowed to leave.
They're feeling a little bit of pressure. They may want to peace out before anything gets a little bit more difficult or dangerous, or if too much time passes, because time does pass differently. Now, the reason that this group is here was originally to try to chase after Quinn and Clume and figure out what did you do and why did you betray us. But it seems that this portal is not entirely stable. The Yeth Hound came out, but on this side, there was no Yeth Hound. So they don't know where that came from. And coming in, they obviously are not in a location that Quinn and Clume passed through. Another mystery. Also, on top of all that, Izode said it was not time for them to be here. That they were somehow early, and that they might be meeting again in the future. We'll see. So, finally pulling away from the various beings, you manage to get yourselves back to the portal. Go ahead and move us over here.
Yay.
Yay.
After a little bit of humming and hawing, they do let you go, and they do, try to tempt you with ambrosia and tempt you with all sorts of other wonderful gifts to keep you there. But you pass through the portal and find yourself back in the forest, past the plains of the south of Arkala. And outside, you see no sign of the Yeth Hound. Instead, there's a table. A table set by a being full of a variety of breakfast items. Pancakes, waffles, honey, pitchers that are set nearby, and tall glasses of juice. And a being that has a couple of cloths draped over a pair of their arms, acting the role of waiter. Literally waiting for you to arrive.
It's okay to eat Fey food outside of the Feywilds, right?
Totally.
I hope so. I'm so hungry.
Warren's
What?
like, oh, that makes sense to me.
Hmm.
Warren's just eyeing those pancakes like,
The pancakes look thick and fluffy and
Oh.
perfectly browned on both sides.
Oh.
he really wants those pancakes, guys.
The aroma is wafting to
too.
you. You get a hint of nutmeg and cinnamon that reaches your nose.
But I suppose that there is an especially important thing we can do to try to figure it out. There is one of the bees over there that we can just ask. After all, just like with policemen, if you ask, they've got to tell you.
Andre gives Urst a smuck upside the back of the head because that is absolute BS.
Oh, damn.
The being is just kind of standing there and getting a little like nervous because you all are just standing there looking at them and the plate, and they're just, you can see that they pull out like a little fan and they wave away some other like natural bees that are trying to get to the honey. He kind of like gestures like
So, if
to the food, like, come on.
if no one else is gonna take the lead, Ernst is gonna go up and instigate a conversation.
Go for it.
All right. So, what do we have here?
Well, and he straightens up a bit. You can kind of tell that his antenna flick up. He's very much smiling at this opportunity. I was informed by a couple of our chefs to provide this breakfast for the brave adventurers that met Izode early. So here we are in this fine morning. Help yourselves.
Warren,
Not his most.
oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Warren was like,
No.
he goes to reach for the pancakes and he stops. He's like, wait. And he just looks at Ernst. He's just like, he's vibrating like, please. He like, didn't say anything, but he's just like, he really wants to grab those pancakes.
I want you all to make a survival check.
Ooh, oh boy.
Okay.
I'm terrible.
Oh
I'm
boy!
extra bad at
Hey,
oh,
my
oh,
first
oh,
one.
I got a 10.
I got a 10.
Oh no.
Oh, this is going great.
Ah,
Oh!
so close to a 20.
Ah.
So close.
Adria got a 6, Ibnixus got a 10, Urus got a 10, Ophelia got a 6, and Warren got a 1. Thankfully, this wasn't very important. Ibnixus and Urus, you two being quick of mind, remember, you entered that portal in the evening of the previous day. It is now morning, mid-morning, in fact. You were only in that portal for maybe a half an hour at most.
Yeah.
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 So Ophelia she looks around at the table, and she looks up at the bee,
Mm-hmm.
and she points towards the spot where the Yethound was,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "So, if you don't mind telling me, what did you do with our little friend's corpse?"
You had a friend that had a corpse here?
She kind of looks at him and tilts her head. How long were we in there?
Oh, well, I don't quite know. I came out this morning to set this up. I had been told that you had just gone in the evening before, I believe.
So Warren with a mouthful of pancake, like, oh, I believe that she means the hound that there was a dead dog thing that was out here when you came out here.
Oh, yes, no, there was no corpse or anything. No hound when I came out. My job was simply to set this up for you all. It's my honor to do so.
So you two, you know, we do appreciate your help and everything, but where did you two come from exactly? Were you just living outside the walls this whole time?
Nixie, looks at Warren and looks over towards Ophelia and where Ziot is, who's kind of just chilling. He doesn't seem to have an interest in the food. He's just, laying down next to Ophelia. And she says, "Do you mean Me and Ziad or me and Ophelia? I mean, honestly, I've never met Ophelia before. I think we just kind of happen to be here at the same time for different reasons.
Oh, it's like one of those fate things. Oh yes, that's a good
Yeah.
sign, you know. He kind of like dresses the table. You see, that means that there's some kind of like prophecy that we're probably fulfilling right now, and it's great. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, what drew you here, by the way? Did you just hear stuff come in, or was there like a? Did you see it in the stars, or did a wolf tell you, or something like that?
No, not quite. Well, you see, Ziat over there, she motions to the dragon avatar familiar thing. He told me about this like weird, I don't even remember how he described it. He told me to come here. But yeah, I mean, I've lived my whole life outside the walls of any city. I've been told cities are very dangerous, actually, in fact. And she's like kind of stammering, like, oh wait, I'm actually talking about myself. Yeah, but no, I've never been, anywhere close to the city. I used to live with my family south of here.
Effectively, they had come out in the morning to set this up. They had heard apparently that you had left here, left to go into the Feywild in the previous evening, and that they had never seen any Yethhound or corpse or anything like that on this side.
Yes.
So it's been like, what, maybe 12 hours? Ish.
A corpse would not disappear in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
So
so
is there, like,
drug it
question
through the
is-
portal.
Is there a blood trail anywhere on the ground?
Make a perception check.
Oh boy.
It has been 200 years.
14.
Okay. So, yes, you do see that there are drag marks in the ground. Mysteriously, no blood. But you do see what looks to be something was dragged through the dirt and into the portal. From where the Yethhound had died.
Okay. She kind of like looks at the drag marks, and she looks back at the party, and she's like, well, whatever sent that thing out here probably came back to drag it back in, or something smelled it and got it back in the portal. Either way, it's gone.
But animals do like to eat other animals. There's probably something hungry.
Hey.
Something like, but that would mean it would have to be like the size of the Yethhound, if not bigger.
But giant
Ophelia
monsters do live out here outside the city walls.
Ophelia just
Aye.
kicks the dirt.
Yeah.
Dirt is kicked.
The dirt. Take that dirt.
Damn. Dirt takes 1+ psychic damage.
The earth takes psychic damage.
Wait. That means the Earth has a hit point bar. That means the Earth can be killed.
It can.
God.
Yes, that one realization when somebody scuffs their foot, falls and hits the ground, they look up and they notice that the ground now has an HP bar.
Like, oh no.
Wait, so question. So since I'm above the ground, is the ground considered prone?
God.
It rolls disadvantage.
If we send someone to the other side of the planet, is it flanked?
Is it flank?
Riley, can
Yes.
I make a nature check just to make sure that like the season hasn't the advanced or anything like that?
Yes. I will allow this.
Can I join him on that?
Yes, I will.
That'd be
also
a
allow
nature or survival.
that. Nature or survival, whichever one you prefer.
I got an 8.
Ooh.
Okay.
She's too sad right now about the corpse being gone to really pay
Yeah.
attention.
Aww.
Adri, you are looking around for signs of change, right?
Mhm.
Especially time going by. Now, you didn't get a very good look at this area before you went in, but you are reasonably certain, given the weather, given the proximity to Arkala, and a couple of things, that it's very much not long since you went into that portal. You're not missing months or seasons worth of time. There's no sign that any moss has grown. A lot of the trees look as they did. Rocky is right there where you left it. You're fairly confident that you have not traveled too far in time. Maybe a day, maybe two. Beyond that would be strange. Yeah, you feel like you would have picked up on something.
Ophelia turns and kind of like, she looks up and then looks at the party, and then she points at Warren. She's like, didn't you used to have a crow on your head?
Oh yeah, he's probably still there. And so he like reaches up and he's like, pats the top of his head. He like
There
looks
is no
under the
burger to grab.
He looks under the table. He like picks up his plate. He's looking around like, but I'm his champion. What if he found another champion? Oh no!
Warren,
Uh-huh.
try praying to him.
Oh, that's a good idea. So he like finishes up whatever he was eating. He kind of steps on over here to make sure he's got some space. And he does a heckin' pray. And he's like, yes, I've had plenty of practice with this one. Rocknall, I pray to your divinity. Please give me a sign that I am still your chosen champion.
Okay. Did not expect that, but okay. So, Warren gives a prayer, a sign for that he is still a chosen champion. Ibnixis and Ophelia, this will be your first time seeing this entity materialize in person. Adre and Urist, the appearance is when you originally met Racknall for the first time as well. A shadow, in fact shadows, pull from the trees and center on a single location just a short distance away from Warren. They pool and begin to rise like a tree growing from the ground, branches splaying up into grand feathered wings that then fold over into a long, straight cloak. The top of the tree slowly curls forward, turning bone white as the head of a short-beaked bird begins to form, red eyes glowing in the pits of the skull. And before you stands, roughly 7 feet tall, is Racknall, giving a gracious bow with spindly skeletal arms, one folded behind his back and the other over where his stomach might be.
Oh, you got bigger. Have you been juicing?
I've always been immeasurable, Warren.
Yes, but last time you were measurable, you fit in my hand.
I can take whatever form I desire.
Oh, that's cool. You might want to go back to small bird mode, though, so that you can sit on my head.
I will. In a moment.
Okay.
You
That's
asked
good.
for a sign that you are still my chosen champion.
Excellent. Which is good. Good. Excellent. I'm not used to this actually working. I do this at bedtime, and it's like I don't hear anything. This is so cool. Guys, look, it worked this time. I'm so excited.
Indeed. You should be honored to have me as your patron. I see your party has changed.
Oh, yes, that happens sometimes. We found some new friends.
Good.
Good.
Out of curiosity, Riley, how is Ziot reacting, if at all? Just curious.
Ziot is staring in a mixture of awe at this new being. There is a tenseness to Ziot's body. And Ziot's eyes are very much fixed upon this figure, kind of like, not quite a deer caught in the headlights, but like a cat that thinks that if they stay very, very still, they won't be seen.
Perfect.
Nixie's feeling the same way. She's got like a pancake in one hand, probably a piece of bacon in the other, but she's like ready to drop it at a moment's notice if she needs to.
How does Ophelia react to this?
She kind of just like, she looks at Warren and then she looks back at the bird. And then she looks back, she like looks at him like how tall is Ragnall compared to Ophelia?
Ragnall is 7 feet tall in this form.
Okay. She looks at him like dead in the eyes. And you know, like even though her hair is covering her eyes, you know, you can still tell when she's looking at you in the eyes, you get like that feeling. And then she's like, so why'd you pick this one? And she points over at Warren.
It's like, but why this? Like,
Warren is a paladin of a particular kind that has not been seen on the land of Vanzir in centuries.
Oh, believe me, I can tell.
oh, look at that. She can tell. That's my training is paying off.
Ragnall just closes its eyes a moment. You get the feeling that it's in pain, but straightens itself up, tilts its head just a little bit, looks across the party, makes eye contact with Ziat, and then also the being who is very uncomfortable, judging by the way that it is fidgeting and looking towards the portal, and then looking back towards Ragnall and looking back towards the portal.
Oh.
Ragnall gives a bow and says, "You left me waiting all night long alone beyond this portal.
Oh,
I hope you have something to show for it."
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that would work. That was how that worked. He looks a little fidgety.
The fair realm is complicated for gods.
Oh, is that where we were?
I expect so. You reek of Fae.
Oh, I don't smell that bad.
Return to Arcala. There's much to be done.
Oh no!
And
Oh,
disappears,
oh no!
sinking into the ground in the shadows, where the shadows immediately scatter off like so many rats looking for shade. And
Oh,
then is
he doesn't want to travel with us anymore.
We appreciate your hosting and your cooking. It has been most trying for you, I'd imagine, and you are welcome to take your leave at this point. After anybody who wants some gets a bit to go.
The bee folk nods with a big antenna-shaped grin, and gives a little bow. Oh, it's my pleasure, my honor that you enjoyed this breakfast determined by our lead chefs. I will be sure to clean up after you all have left. Worry not.
Well, I do believe that comes with a minor complication, in that jabbing a thumb back towards the portal in the stand, we intend to be taking the rock along with us.
I was going to ask, but I didn't want to, pressure or anything.
Ooh. Oh, well, yes. One moment. And the bee folk like flutters off, little bee wings buzzing to help give him an extra boost of speed, and he disappears through the portal.
Oh. The being's like, I gotta get the hell out of here.
Warren, grab your kid. Let's go.
Oh boy! You are very brave, Rocky. I'm sorry.
Because it's probably going to be a few hours before it comes back.
Oh, that's a good point.
You grab Rocky?
Right. Uh-oh.
Urs tilts their head. Is that gonna leave him with a job undone?
Oh. Rocky? Or the bee?
Oh, the bee.
I'll be fine.
I wonder if they could just, it'll be fine. I don't want to leave Rocky out here by himself again. He's already been so brave. He's been out here for a whole day by himself, all night long in the cold.
He's all grown up.
He is, but you know, I don't want to just leave him here, outside the walls by himself.
Yeah, having no clue, what's been going on with these three, Ophelia just looks at Ibanixis and kind of just does like the loopy kind of finger motion on her head.
And
Like,
when Ophelia
showing them
does
kids?
when Ophelia does that, Nixie seems to kind of like snap out of thoughts and shakes her head. She looks between everyone, looks at the rock, and she's like, Warren, that's a rock.
Yes, it's Rocky. It's my son.
Earth begins breaking into chuckles.
So you all set off back for Orkala.
Or Kala.
Orkala. Oh my
Orkala.
goodness, I am stuttering
Orkala.
so much today.
The orc variation.
The orc.
Oh no, we're in an alternate universe.
Oh no.
Orkala, everyone's an orc. Roll up orc characters.
Oh god.
Oh,
Or half orc.
Orkin.
Yep. You step up to this bit of a clearing, and you hear a rustling, and a squeal of pain.
Oh no.
A large boar comes rushing out of the brush, and there is a large gash going right down its side. It is actively bleeding and whirling about in circles just a short distance away from you before ultimately falling over dead. Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check. I love how Starion was so confident. I get plus 10 to my stealth check. He
I
rolls
do.
that one.
I mean, they got an 11, so...
I was waiting for the 30 something. Oh my god!
my
Double 20s!
Oh wow.
You know, I think I kind of want to save those for an attack roll, if that's okay with you.
I will,
Oh, that's
Someone needs to
hilarious.
take a screenshot.
because you are so...
What the hell?
Wow, I don't know what to do about this. I have never... Keep in mind, everyone watching right now, the reason that 2 dice were rolled is because this is a disadvantage check.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So I would be taking the lowest of the 2
You got
results.
2 nat
Because of heavy armor that Urist is wearing. However, that's 2 natural 20s, which, Alex, what is the chance of that? I know you know.
1 in 4,000.
1 in 4,000 chance.
Oh my god.
That's a little bit nuts.
Gotta be worth something.
So I will
Sorry,
come up with something. Yes,
sorry,
I
sorry.
will-
1 in 4. 1 in
Yeah, 1 in
400.
400. Yeah.
400. Okay.
That's still a 0.25% chance.
Yeah, that's still pretty bonkers. Okay,
Dang.
so Ernest, you are one with the stone. You've never felt more kinship with the earth than you do now.
So Warren's like, oh, I don't think that's very natural for boars. Don't worry, I'll go and investigate. I'm about to be bait, guys.
Uh-oh.
What else
Can
is new?
Zion follow along with him?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. Look, I'll be the bait, and then you can shoot whatever kills me. It'll be fine.
One thing that does catch your eye is that there is something greenish spilling from the wound. It looks like a large slash in its side, and there's plenty of blood as well, but there's also this trickle of something green that is also issuing out from it.
It looks around, is like, do I see anything coming? Like, I was kind of expecting a giant spider or something to come, jump on my head. Like,
Yeah, no, that absolutely happens.
No, my
Only it's not a spider.
Oh no.
Hold on, let me get this the right size here.
Let me get the right size.
there it is. Perfect.
There's that. Oh no, wait, that's still a little.
Too small.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh no.
Oh, guys, I think I found what it was.
out of the brush, following the path of the boar and seeing you, not just a scorpion, not just a medium-sized scorpion, not even a large-sized scorpion, a huge scorpion comes crawling out of the brush. This thing from the butt to mouth measures about 12 feet long. and with
Thanks
its
for-
tail arching far up above its body, reaches almost 8 feet high.
That's a big boy. It's hi.
Its pincers snap and its tail twitches a little bit, dripping with some green ichor that sizzles on its own chitinous back. I need you all to roll initiative.
Thanks for that 51,
Ooh.
Benixis.
Remember to click your icon first.
What?
Yes.
What?
What was that?
Woo!
Like
What was that, Barry?
what was that?
Thanks for that 51, Benixis.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Look, it's free experience.
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate.
God, my rolls are shit.
Pretty
think
sure I
I-
clicked my character.
Change your dice color.
I found where the oh my. I
Oh,
found where the green came
I-
from.
so I clicked my character, but it didn't show up. But I got a natural 20 for a 23.
Happens
Okay.
sometimes.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Roll 20 is particularly...
You should make a separate character for Audrey and just call it Flame Sphere.
Yeah.
At this point.
Here we go. Oh, come on. I was just clicking on it. Dang it. There we go. Okay, poof. There it is.
All right.
Yeah. Where do you put it?
Well, I'm going to be using my bonus action to... Well, it's gonna... Yeah, that's a good spot. But I'm going to use my bonus action to slam it into the...
Okay,
the,
you should have control over it, so go ahead and move it where you want,
Do I?
to move it.
I do. So
Nice roll.
we'll start it here.
Mhm.
And so I do just want to point out, I'm going to be using that fancy new ability you gave Audrey.
Oh.
Ah.
Ooh.
Between
Did you
sessions.
tell that to the viewers?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They're a surprise. I guess we'll see.
So
what
our
happens.
GM has given us some delightful little abilities that,
Unique to our characters.
yeah, unique to our
Yeah.
character.
A little bit home.
Audrey has one called
Homebrew.
Lore of the Spore
Lord.
because of his affinity with the mushroom up atop his head. He has control over caustic spores and necromantic energy and allows him to mold them to suit his needs. I can change the damage type of any damaging spell to necrotic or poison unless it already has one of those types. Spells that already do necrotic or poison add my proficiency bonus to the damage. So instead of fire, instead of the bright caustic or green fire that he normally summons, it becomes this writhing, almost Icarus black flame. Before he flicks his fingers in the direction of the scorpion and slams the ball into it.
Very nice. Okay. No, go ahead and roll up the spell damage, I believe, or does it get a dex save or what?
Let's see here.
Time to check the spell.
Yes, if you ram the sphere into a creature, that creature must make a saving throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving this turn.
So it gets a 13 for a dex save.
Okay.
And what is your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 15.
Okay, so it definitely fails, and it will take the
4 necrotic damage.
Necrotic damage. Very good. Okay. And then you're leaving that right there. Okay, brilliant.
Yes. So
Okay,
if
so-
it ends its turn in that same square,
Yes.
it'll take damage again.
Gotcha.
Ophelia kind of she turns her head upon hearing the crossbow, being fired and hearing the flaming sphere be summoned. Question:
Yes.
How tall is this?
How tall is that? It's about 5 feet.
Okay, so Ophelia's going to immediately rush over here
Okay.
and stand behind it,
Mhm.
and she's gonna look across to Audrey. And seeing that he's a frail old man wizard, she's going to she points her ebony skull, and the eyes begin to turn blue as a spirit comes out from the jaws of it, and it surrounds her hand, looks at her as she says a word in Undercommon. That does anyone here speak Undercommon? Probably not.
No.
No.
Don't think that
Okay.
one's on the list.
So no one knows what she just said,
Right.
but the spirit goes towards Audrey, and it taps his forehead, and he turns invisible. As I use my Tail of the Phantom for my Tales of the Beyond that I just rolled.
So Audrey is just going to take his full movement
Mhm.
to duck. Yeah, back here by Ophelia.
Okay.
Use his turn, his action,
Mhm.
to. Once he gets to that position,
Mhm.
he's going to launch magic missiles
Very good.
at the critter. So unfortunately, that only rolls one.
You have to roll it again a couple times. And then what is your Bardic Inspiration dice, Ophelia?
It is a D8, so I have to roll a D8.
Go ahead.
And it will do bonus necrotic damage equal to what I roll.
Yes.
So that is 1.
Oh boy!
Nice.
We're doing the big damage tonight, y'all. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll the rest of your magic missiles if you wish, Warren. Or Adri.
Yep.
And the Scorpion's now frightened of Audrey.
Yes.
Oh, it only
okay.
added 1 to that, so
It
that
only added
would actually
one.
be 8.
8.
So
Okay,
10 damage total for that.
10 plus 1 necrotic.
Yeah, and then
So-
he flicks his hand to slam the sphere into it again.
Very good. And then that would do another...
Let's see.
I believe it has to make another dexterity save, so...
Wow,
Roll an
that's-
8, so
Another
fail again.
12
That's
damage.
12
Necrotic.
Holy crap.
Even though the Scorpion probably can't understand her.
Hmm.
Let me see real fast. Okay, yeah. She kind of like looks at the creature and she like just pets her skull
Mhm.
as she starts mumbling things, and the Scorpion starts hearing like in its head just thoughts of just dread and how Ophelia is going to skin the hell out of it and take all of its bones once it's dead. As I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level.
Okay.
Ooh.
Good choice.
So I believe
let
it
me
needs to make a
upcast.
wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Even with a -1,
Oh,
it's still...
That looks like it's on the 4. What the hell?
Yeah, that's something.
So-
So,
so it
does it
takes
do
10
anything on...
It takes 5 points of damage because it takes half,
Takes half, okay.
and that is it.
Well, does it take... Because you cast at a higher level, so wouldn't that be 6? Because 10 plus 2 is 12, half of that is 6?
Well, no, I upcasted it and it rolled 10 total.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
half
no,
the
because
result.
2. Oh, because it's split. Why the fuck does it split?
Yeah, because it shows you the higher
Oh.
level cast. Yep.
Okay, yeah, so it is 6.
It is 6. Okay, good.
Hey.
That is fucking stupid.
Very good.
Oh, it
So,
does
you reach out with your dissonant whispers, and the mind there does not seem to have any cognizance of what you were trying to scare it with, but it still winces in psychic pain. As,
Alright, and that'll do it for now.
Okay, very good. Then, Adre, you are back up.
Now, would a crossbow bolt sticking out of the chitin count as a carried item?
I'm gonna say no, because
Excellent. Thank you.
it cannot technically drop it or anything like that. But go ahead.
Good. So Audrey is going to, of course, use his magic missile again.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm just. I'm fixing it on my sheet so that it rolls properly this time. I
Okay, good.
apologize.
Oh, very nice. Okay, 13
So
points of
13
force
points.
damage.
And then he once more flicks his hand, and the sphere is going to bounce specifically against the section of chitin that the crossbow bolt is sticking out of.
Okay.
So let me roll that.
Or you mean the short bow arrows?
Sorry? Yes.
The crossbow bolt pinged off, but the short bow arrows are very much
Oh,
wedged
yeah,
in
yeah.
it.
Right.
I mean,
So,
the sneak attack one worked just fine, but yeah.
That's true.
so that's 8 damage, and because that item is not being carried,
Yep.
it
Oh,
ignites.
It ignites.
Oh,
With necrotic
Ignites
fire.
flammable objects not being worn or carried.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay.
Okay.
I regret this decision.
No, it's creative. It's creative. I'll give him that. So
Thank
what I will say is, go ahead and roll an additional 1d4.
Okay.
And let's see what happens.
You could just like hear the face palm that Riley just did.
Yeah. I was wondering what he was going for. Okay.
You're like,
So
crap,
13 13 points of the magic missile damage, 8 points of fire damage from the flaming sphere, and then the flaming sphere ignites the arrows that are sticking into the scorpion's side, doing an additional 3 points of fire damage to it. There we go. That is all tallied up. And now the scorpion is really not looking good. Ichor, thick blood is spilling out from the wounds on its side, and it's beginning to list. Its many legs tripping over each other as it tries to turn towards its enemies. Anything else you do with your turn, Adre?
Nope, that'll be it.
Okay, then Urist, you're back up.
Oi there, you big eight-legged wee monster. Was the board not enough for you? Isn't this enough for you now? Don't you wish you didn't do it? Well, too late to back out now.
Very
DC
nice.
14 wisdom save for some vicious mockery.
It fails.
Oh, you roll low for everyone else but me.
I am luck. I am destiny.
I am inevitable. Okay, so
So-
that's psychic damage, and then what else happens?
5 psychic damage, and it has a disadvantage on its next attack if it makes one. Just
Okay.
its singular next attack.
It's singular next attack, because it does get multiple. Okay.
And
So, anything else you do with your turn?
it depends. Do we intend to take a short rest after this anytime soon?
Probably will have to.
All right. In that case, let's also drop a bardic inspiration on Warren. All right, big guy, go ahead and finish her off.
Warren, you have a bardic inspiration.
Bordic, and yours is 1d8 as well, or is it 1d6?
Yes, it's a D8.
It's d8. Oh, it's divine smite in time because I've got advantage and a bardic inspiration. Here we go. All right. It's all right. Slap a clock.
Slap a clock.
Slap a clock.
First attack.
This is a 21 hit.
You missed. No, I'm kidding. You
Oh
hit it.
no! Oh
Gosh,
baby.
you don't even need the inspiration.
Yeah, I wouldn't even need
Yeah,
inspiration.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, wait.
I
Why
know,
did you
right.
roll with advantage?
I'm
Because
flanking.
he's flanking.
Oh, you're flanking. Yes. Okay. Very good. So roll up your damage.
My damage.
And the same as last time, his hammer gets lightning power.
Lightning power. Oh, really?
Well, an extra 1d6.
Bam! There's the extra
Okay.
1d6, and then I gotta roll the, Watch, I'm
Damage
gonna get,
typing.
Five.
if I get a
And I
1, I swear.
And
Oh,
I
that was
think
close.
no, I do believe thanks to bardic versatility. No, that's not the right one, is it? One second.
Bardic versatility?
Where is it? Magical inspiration.
That
there it is.
is-
Oh,
if-
that's not one.
It's acid damage.
Oh.
Don't mind that. Sorry,
Okay.
misflipped.
So remember, if he is resistant, he is not, and if he's immune, he's just resistant.
Right. And then Urist, did you have something with the magical inspiration or no?
Sadly not, because I don't think this smite is technically a spell. So rules as written, it doesn't apply. It's one of those additional bardic abilities that was added not too long ago, which basically means that somebody casting a spell can add the inspiration die to damage or healing it does.
Right. Yeah. Smite is not a spell technically. Okay. So Warren, your hammer comes down. Describe how you kill this thing.
Hey, let's
So,
go.
you know, Hammer holds it up high, and then for some reason, it starts to electrify itself, and then it starts to emit a acidy glow as he brings it down right onto this thing's head, and it's so thunderous that it just basically kind of cracks up and snakes through the spine of this thing and kind of splits it open.
As the creature is split open by the incredible blow, the crack traveling all the way down its chitinous back and even breaking part of its tail off. the creature gives one final hissing twitch before all 8 of its legs and its large claws fall limp to the ground.
Nice.
That fight only took us 35 minutes.
It's not too bad.
Too bad.
It wasn't made to be a super hard fight.
Yeah.
Random encounter.
First
Uh,
brushes off her ruffled sleeves. Not bad, not bad.
Warren kind of looks over his hammer, is like, I don't remember being able to do these things.
Does.
Well, the lightning would be thanks to Ziot over there.
Oh, prophecy dragon. Thank you.
I was fully imagining Orin go, a tiny god.
Tiny god.
Oh
Oh my
God
god.
of thunder.
You could convince him of that at this point. It's like, just
no! Yeah.
squats down and starts petting Zat, like, who's a good little prophecy? He like, in fact, he turns, he's like, does your tiny dragon happen to be a god? Gods seem to come in tiny forms.
No, I think he's just a dragon.
He just
I mean,
kinda looks
if
back.
he's a god, he didn't tell me about it.
Oh, keeping it close to the chest, I see. Good. Bracknell was the same way. I wasn't supposed to, talk about that either. He keeps petting the dragon.
Oh, jeez.
He's
Alright.
absolutely loving it, tail wagging all over the place.
Aw, good boy.
What do you do?
During this time, Ophelia approaches a giant scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees the just cracked, spinal center that Warren did. Are they like the insides exposed pretty much?
Oh yes, they are gooey
Okay.
and wet.
So Ophelia pulls up her sleeves
Mm-hmm.
and opens up her herbalism kit to take out some gloves and put them on her hands.
Mm-hmm.
As she takes out her dagger and starts carving the bones out.
Okay, well, scorpions don't have bones.
I don't have bones.
Yep.
They have
Yep.
an exoskeleton.
We'll carve up the exoskeleton wherever it
Okay,
could be
very good.
used for that kind of stuff.
Okay, so there's a lot of exoskeleton that you can like more than Ophelia can reasonably carry.
Did
So do you go for a particular part of it or what?
I was sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
Did oh my god, I'm forgetting a name again. Our previous goblin companion,
Bloom.
Boom.
Gloom. Thank you.
Oh,
It's not that I don't know her name; it just wouldn't click.
She's already
Did
gone.
Gloom still have the bag of holding?
Yes.
God damn it!
yeah, or I think Quinn did.
Yeah, Quinn
Yeah,
did.
Quinn
It was
had the
not
bag
Plume.
of holding and took that with them into the
Dirty
Feywild.
double thieves.
Yeah.
Okay, Ophelia is probably going to focus, probably on the claws,
Okay.
and also try to maybe get, if this thing has like sort of an exoskeleton rib cage, try to like carve out the individual rib pieces of them.
Okay, so imagine like you know how like a samurai pauldron has like overlapped like layers? That's kind of what its quote unquote rib cage, the back of it is very much like. The underside of it is much softer. The top side of it is actually very tough and hard and rigid, and it's just these overlapping segments that go all the way back. Now, the segments are cracked right through the middle thanks to Warren's last strike. And one side of it has been corroded with acid and pierced with arrows and bolts and all sorts of other things. You get the claws reasonably well. It's easy enough to effectively rip them off like a crab claw, and then all of the connective tendons just kind of fall out, leaving you these large shells and the serrated edges of the scorpion's claws. And then, so we'll say you get 2 giant scorpion claws. Any more than that would be very difficult to carry.
Okay.
Nice.
Audrey's gonna motion at the scorpion with Urist and just be like, would your dad be able to make anything out of that plating?
It's at least a possibility. Though chitin isn't generally something that we use. It's a little primitive in the most part. Though this is one of the more exotic animals around here, and it did sound awfully metallic. Might
And
be
it
as
would
we
sell
want to get a
well.
look.
Yeah.
Yep, so we'll gather up a little bit more, just some of the bigger, flatter plates to see if we can turn it into something useful eventually.
Okay. So, working with Ophelia to carve up this beast, let's say, Ophelia, you get 2 giant scorpion claws, and Urist, you get 6 exoskeleton plates.
Also, I don't know if it did have like small little pieces of exoskeleton, like fragments that kind of came out from the crack.
Absolutely, yeah.
I want to get like a good handful of them that are like big sized, not like really tiny.
Okay. So let's say that you get, and it's easy enough to break things off with a little bit of effort. But let's say you get, 6 exoskeleton shards, let's call them.
Okay.
Each one in and of itself could be about the size of a knife.
Okay.
Anybody else want to scavenge this creature?
I'll say, while everyone's scavenging the scorpion, Nixie is gonna glide her way over here to the dead boar.
Okay.
Just to kind of like check it out to see if anything is salvageable. off of this thing.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check or nature check, whichever you prefer.
We're doing survival.
16.
16.
Look, you did pretty good. Look at that.
So, considering the boar is very recently dead, the main concern that you have is obviously the poison that may have been a part of killing it. So, as long as you stay away from kind of the immediate area that it was punctured, you think that most of this creature you could probably salvage or even prepare to eat.
Poison. Oh, you
Especially
mean the
cooked.
spice?
Yeah, the spice.
The spice.
The secret sauce.
The secret
The
sauce.
marinade.
The marination.
Oh my God.
If this was a normal situation for you and Ziat, you could take the time to string this guy up and turn him into a decent meal for you and your party.
Yeah. She won't do anything yet. She'll kind of look around at everyone, sees them taking the scorpion apart, and Warren's like petting Ziad or something over there.
He's playing with the good little dragon.
And then she'll kind of ask everyone, she'll be like, well, after that, would you all perhaps like to rest for a bit? There might be enough on here I can make a decent meal out of it.
You make a short camp. It's easy enough, Ibn Ixis, with your skill in survival. You're able to save most of the pelt of the boar, the tusks if you want them as well. The rest of you pick apart the choice pieces of scorpion that you wish. A fire is made, and the cuts of meat of the boar are set on sticks and laid over the fire to cook, so that you have a nice, a pretty tasty, savory meal of well-cooked boar as the morning slowly shifts to the afternoon. With the sun high in the sky, the temperature here is comfortable, though a little bit warm. You're starting to sweat a little bit under your various clothing. You're not in the indoors of Arkala, and there's no real significant breeze here that would help cool you off, and especially with a warm meal, you're feeling a little bit warm. But a meal had, a short rest taken for all of you, so you get the benefit of a short rest if you wish to take it.
Oh man!
If only I got anything.
If only.
By short rest, how many hours are you?
Let's say you guys take about 2 or 3 hours to go through this process.
Hey, I RP something during this because
Absolutely.
I actually have something that I would like to do.
Go for it.
So while Ibn Ixis is preparing the boar to be eaten, is she still wearing her quiver, or does she take it off and put it to the side?
She probably would have just set it aside so she could just make sure she's got everything checked out before they leave later.
Okay. You see Ophelia she walks over and she takes an arrow from her quiver, and she's kind of examining it, taking, you could see she's like mentally taking notes about the arrow, about how it looks, its design and stuff like that. And without saying anything, she puts it back, and she walks over to a small secluded area. As she draws, you see her take out like a piece of charcoal, as she starts making a mark on the ground to her right. So, like right here.
Okay.
You see her also walk to get some sticks. So she like walks over here, grab some sticks. She'll grab like 5 decently thick-sized sticks. As she takes out those exoskeleton shards and puts them in the middle of the circle. She takes the sticks and put them in the middle of the circle as well as those what else was it? The small patches of hound skin that I got from the Yeth Hound earlier.
Okay.
As she sits and she starts to, it looks like she's in a kind of a meditative kind of position, but she starts muttering again in uncommon or undercommon as she puts her
uncommon.
It's the same shit. As she puts her skull down in front of her, and as she starts muttering, the spirits start coming out of the skull. It starts out as 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, but pretty soon there's 10 spirits like flying around this circle. And each of them have like these little tools in their hands, ranging from a chisel to a hammer to, a little saw, as they just converge on this circle with all the parts. And you guys hear like, the sawing, the little like hammering and stuff like that. As she keeps muttering, and you see her trying like real hard to retain focus. As I am using the little unique ability that Riley gave me, called Dark Scrimshaw. I think that's how you pronounce it, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
So basically, since I provide the materials, I can either make a light weapon or ammunition over the course of a short or long rest. And I still get the benefits of it. And right now, what I'm making is a set of 5 + 1 arrows.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Once they're completed, you see the spirits kind of look at Ophelia as you see like a lot of sweat kind of, like dripping from her face. As the spirits kind of give like a little, kind of like a wave as they all disperse finally into the afterlife. As she picks up the arrows, you hear her huffing and puffing. And she just walks over to Ibnixis, puts the arrows into her quiver, and walks away.
Okay. So, Ibnixis, add a 10 + 1 pieces of ammunition.
Which is 5.
Oh, it's 5. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's yeah.
You can add that to as a little class resource that you count down. It will effectively give you +1 to hit and +1 damage
And it counts
every
as
time,
magical.
and it counts as magical every time you add those.
If only I had those for the Yeth Hound.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But you notice that
The
these
disadvantage, is that you will not be able to retrieve them and use them again. So once they're spent, they're spent.
Fair.
And
Yeah.
you notice that these arrows, obviously they have this thick shaft. The leather was used to make kind of the tail part of the arrow. Where feathers normally are, there's leather. And then the bone was used, or the exoskeleton was used to make the arrow tip. And you notice that on each of the arrow tips, that little mark, remember that Ophelia drew into the ground? It's engraved into each of the arrows. And you notice very smallly written is use these wisely. And then a winky face.
Emotes exist in this world. It's canon now.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that anybody wants to do while we're doing the short rest?
Warren's gonna eat the food as soon as it's done.
Oh, it
Heck
is
yeah.
juicy boar meat.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Cooked over an open fire.
With
Lovely.
maybe a herb or something if I
An
found
herb,
it
and it's like
in the wild.
whatever I can
Yeah.
find on this thing.
Yeah.
How about Urist?
Oh, Urst is playing a little tune just in case anybody's intends on spending hit dice. But I think we're good. Don't think there's anything else other than regaining the uses that Urst needs.
How about Adre?
Padre is sitting on a rock, with Truffles by his feet, with her little dagger in its sheath on her harness, and just doing that old man open-eyed nap, but like so
It's
still
creepy.
that someone might think he's dead.
It was meant to expire any moment.
Which I mean, technically, yeah.
Technically.
Okay, so as you finish your meal and you decide it's time to get back to Arkala before it gets too late, you set off again through the forest and into the plains. And thankfully, as you clear the forest and rise to the top of a gentle sloping hill, Arkala is visible in the distance. The great craggy walls seeming to shimmer a little bit in the sunlight. As you approach, I want one of you guys to roll another 1d100.
Oh, no.
Go.
Who's lucky today?
Nixie.
What?
Roll all
Oh,
the
no.
D100s.
Yeah, roll it.
No. Oh God! All right, you know.
You want me to do
Here we
it? I'll
go.
do it. If you
No,
get
no,
scared.
I got it. I
It's
got
committed.
it. 54.
Oh my
Okay.
fucking god.
We're gonna random encounter our way all the way back home.
Huh, yeah, right.
Okay, let me just get this cleared off here. Okay. All right. A few more hours in, the city of Arkala is getting larger and larger and larger, and you really get a sense of the scale of this immense city, and perhaps fixated on the rising walls, Ibnixis, so set upon your destination, you don't quite notice as across these plains ahead of Arkala, nothing happens.
We don't notice nothing happens.
You don't notice nothing happens. Excellent.
Nice.
Yes. The rest of the trip is uneventful, and you arrive
goodness.
at the eastern gate of Arkala once again. The last time you saw
And-
this was for the rest of the party was the previous day when you were chasing some of your previous companions through and out of the city. Now you return with two different companions, those that have never stepped foot in Arkala ever before. A guard, an orc, expecting nobody to use this particular gate, but standing guard nonetheless. Looks a little familiar to Adre, having slapped several gold in his hand the day prior. Kind of turns his attention away from, because he normally is looking inside the city, expecting people to leave, not people to come in. So when he hears you approach, he kind of quickly turns around and straightens up and taps his spear and addresses you all. Says, "Oh,
Oh,
you're alive!
oh, well,
Incredible!"
impressive.
When he says you're alive, Audrey lifts a hand and does the kinda
Kinda.
Oh,
with wiggle back and forth.
well, did you? I mean, I didn't see anything. Wait, what was the
Wait.
deal?
What was the deal again?
Uh,
What was it?
So, you're back, he finally says.
It's like, yes, it was quite eventful.
Did you?
I just want to say really quick, I'm sorry, before they approached Arkala,
Mhm.
Nixie dismissed Ziat's avatar, just not wanting to draw more attention to herself.
Oh,
and
no.
now currently when they walk up probably has her wings very tightly pressed against her back, and she's half hiding behind Warren, just nervously looking up at the walls.
Tiny Dragon Bro, where did you go?
Well, we have our Clume replacement.
Our clue replacement.
Listen, she was told to not trust the cities.
Indeed,
That's-
and the
that's
city
true.
is looming high above you. Past this gate, you can see the tall structures that make up Arkala's city center, all from the lower wealth areas all the way up to the higher wealth areas beyond the thin wall. And this big road where people are passing, going about their late afternoon business, getting ready for dinner or finishing up their work for the day or delivering various supplies before the day is done. These are some of the things that you see as you're finally allowed past the gate. The orc guard does give Ibenixis and Ophelia a strange look. He scribbles something on a clipboard, but otherwise makes no mention, and it allows all of you into the city.
As we're walking in, Ophelia walks behind Ibenixis and kind of like very quickly puts her hand on her shoulders and says, "Boom!"
She will absolutely jump and like probably just stumbles and falls to the ground.
Like one of those goats.
Ophelia kind of
Wait. You're Warren, right?
They remembered my name.
Oh no.
Yes, I am indeed Warren, the paladin. He strikes a heroic pose.
Captain Daner wants to see you immediately.
Ooh. I bet it's because I'm doing some, it's some probably awesome paladin business thing. Oh, just me, or do I get to bring my friends along?
I guess everyone.
Oh, excellent.
You especially need to speak with him. I was told not to escort or anything, just to tell you that that's what he wants to he wants to see you.
All right. Off
That's
we go
exciting.
then.
Ophelia looks at the guards person and is like, "Captain Gaymore? What?"
Captain Danor, Gregian Danor, with a D.
With a D.
There's a D.
There's a D.
There's a D? Where?
Ophelia kind of just chuckles as she's like lifting Ibenixis up back from the ground, and she just says, "He has a D," and keeps walking.
He has a D.
Nixie just brushes herself off and just huffs a little as she just quickly keeps up with the group.
So, what do you do?
Panic.
Panic.
No, not really.
Warren's like, just, going with Urist here and walking towards, Adre's, damn it. Greg's office.
Okay. Use Adre's little token here to show where the party is going.
Yep.
Oh. Okay, so.
Drag new friends along with us.
Yeah, new friends coming along. Ophelia and Ibenixis, this is your first tour through the city. I imagine there's a little bit of Urist and Adre kind of pointing out various landmarks. They're saying, oh, this is that, and oh, this is where you can get some good food. And Adre is like, oh, no, I think the food here is better, but the drink is better over here. And then Warren says, ah, yes, and that is where I became a paladin. And that's where I also tried to be a paladin. And then I was a paladin over there as well.
I've been kicked out of that church and this church. I kicked out twice from that one.
I don't even know how that was possible, but I did it.
Yes, that was a church, but then it burnt down. I was not involved.
I was not
Oh
involved.
my God.
Trust me, I wasn't.
You
first
step up to the barracks, the guards' barracks. Two guards tap their spears. One says, ah, Warren, yes, Gregian Danor is expecting you. Follow me, if you would. And the rest of you are welcome to come as well.
Warren is very, excited.
Okay.
Okay.
Guided through the barracks, the sounds of training are quite seem quite raucous behind the barracks, and they're filling the halls with the echoes of shouts and hyahs and all sorts of other grunts of effort and strain. You're guided up a short flight of stairs to his office, let in, and he is not yet present. The guard with you says, just take a seat and he'll be right with you.
So, Warren, he takes a seat, probably in a seat that's probably way too small for him.
Mm-hmm. They are rickety stools.
Oh no. Probably creaks a little.
It's a creaksel,
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the kind that really screech if you try to pull them across the floor.
Ah,
Yeah,
Ah, perfect.
why do you hate ears so much?
yeah. Do you you all take a seat? y'all get comfortable?
Audrey is going
No.
to stay standing over near the corner.
Okay.
Yeah. Nixie's gonna stand as close to the door as possible without it looking suspicious. Like,
Roll a deception check, I guess.
oh, what? Oh,
Oh, oh no. I believe in you.
First Quinn, now Evie.
Okay.
7.
Ah,
You stand
No,
by the
she's-
door.
yeah, she's just like-
suspiciously.
in the
Yeah,
doorway.
you know. Just like leaning against the wall. She probably like pulled her hood up. Like the whole time they were walking through the city, she kept looking around nervously as if she expected something to happen, and is just confused and nothing has happened.
So
But she
I
just-
was expecting
just
to
kinda
have
keeps
to
it to
fight my way in
herself.
here.
Very good. How about
Expected
Ophelia?
everyone to try and kill her.
It's like, what's happening?
Yeah. Just to come out of the woodworks and be like, you
Yeah.
die
You.
today. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, this is D&D.
It is.
But,
So, Ophelia, are you settling in, or what are you doing?
I guess with a freaking low-ass deception roll like that, Ophelia kind of like approaches Ibnexus, and she kind of does it just like nonchalantly, and she says, "Why are you so scared of the city? Have you never been into one before?"
No, my
Are you nuts?
and she only because they spoke earlier. She decides to respond in Infernal. I don't know if maybe she spoke to her in Common first, but since she at least did you talk to her in Infernal earlier?
Yes.
Right. Okay. She responds in Infernal. My parents always told me that, you know, if you go into the city, then, you know, you're gonna get shot or killed or something. And, you know, it just was never described as a very nice place. So, you know, I don't trust it. So, no, I've never been here. I lived out in the wilds my entire life.
A big grin just appears over Ophelia's face as she's like, "You know, you're right." And she pulls up her sleeve, and you see just like a bunch of scars on her arms. And she's like, "A lot of people in towns I visited always cause this kind of stuff to me. People in towns just really aren't the nicest."
See? Exactly. That's why I never came.
You know, for all we know, we could very well leave this place, and someone could be waiting outside with a weapon, just waiting to stab it right through your heart.
She just like whimpers and like curls in further into herself.
Okay, Urist, you hear this happening in the corner. What are you doing?
Well, I don't speak Infernal.
You don't speak Infernal, but the spitting back and forth, the sound of the language, you know, hissing and Nixie slowly withering in fear are pretty plain to see. But how do you get yourself situated in this place? It has become rather familiar for you now.
Ernst will give a comforting little pat on the shoulder as she passes and say, whatever she's telling you, dinna let her get you down. The cities are the safest place compared to the outside by a wide margin. And sets herself down into a chair in a relatively relaxed yet courteous pose.
It speaks nothing of lies, she says in Infernal.
It can be your angle or it can be your devil.
You can tell Ophelia is like morbidly enjoying this, maybe a bit too much. As she like kind of like takes a knee next to Ibnexus and kind of just like lays her head onto her shoulder. And she says, "I'm just fucking with you, honestly." And she like reveals the scars again. This just happened from accidents at work. You have nothing to be concerned
It's
about.
just workplace accidents.
As you say that, the door slams open. Gregian Daenor marches in, grabs Warren by the cuff of his armor, and drags Warren up against the wall. Warren, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
See, danger.
Oh,
The one saving
danger.
throw he'll be good with.
Ooh.
Okay,
Nice.
so you are
Nice roll.
not knocked off of your feet, but you are hoisted and pressed up against the wall. And Gregian Daenor, his face, his dragonborn golden face, normally just tired and exhausted, now is snarling in your face. And he pins you up and he says, "What did you do?"
Well, we did a lot of things. Our ex-friends chased us to the beehive, and we went and chased them down, but we couldn't find them. So then we found some new friends instead. And then we came back, and what did we do before that? Oh yeah, we were jumped in an alleyway once. That was pretty fun.
Gregian Daenor slugs you with his other hand.
Oh,
Jeez.
dang.
You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Donk.
But I think probably the surprise of it may be what's more shocking. His fist glazes across your skull shaped visage.
It rings hollow.
And he growls, says, "Raknol, you summoned that creature here."
Well, we're not supposed to say his name out loud. The church doesn't like it when you do that.
The Gregian Daenor finally lets go and takes a half a step back.
And he just kind of like rubs the part of his face where he got punched.
And he gives a deep sigh, and the snarl fades quickly from his face. I had a feeling. Warren is, and he gestures to all of you. He is an idiot, ain't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've known
Honestly,
him for
I was
all of-
going to ask you to stop hitting him because
That
the
might
boy
make-
can't afford much more brain damage.
Ophelia, I like to imagine Ophelia's kind of covering even Nix's eyes. And,
Nixie was just like swat her hand away.
So you know I want to see this.
Urs is just sitting prim and proper, not dignifying that with a reply.
Gregian Daenor reaches behind him and pulls out a bottle. It actually looks like a fine a wine bottle, actually. And he turns the label towards Warren and he says, "This is something we give to new recruits when they pass a particular test, and you passed mine, so here, even though it's probably wasted on you, this is yours."
Oh, sweet! Well, thank you very much. See, look, I'm passing tests. It's just like the church training. He takes it, he drinks it. I assume he's supposed to drink it.
Gregian Daenor kind of winces a little bit as you just begin downing it with no concern for its vintage or anything like that, but he wisely doesn't make any note of it. However, I will need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
drunk.
Drunk. Oh Jesus.
Okay. It is strong. It is surprisingly strong.
Wait, do I
This is
still have
stuff
my
that is-
bardic inspiration?
No, that is long.
Oh,
past.
okay, that's
I
long.
thought for
Okay.
a minute.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know, it's just
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It really is gonna depend on if you drink the whole bottle, you're gonna have problems. But if this is like the first swig you're taking,
No, this is the first.
may
Is like,
set the tune.
whoa, this is a lot stronger than the stuff that I get usually.
Yeah, don't drink it all in one place. Gregian Daenor slowly goes around. He gestures for Warren to sit back down. He himself sits on the side of his desk.
Warren just kind of sits down. He does cork the bottle though. He does sort of stash it away.
Okay, add 1 bottle of vintage wine to your inventory.
Ooh.
Gregian Daenor steeples his fingers and leans forward. He says, "I've been informed that Warren and Clume." And he glances across the lot of you, and he makes eye contact with Ophelia and Ibn Ixis, and then slowly the rest of you. That Warren and Clume may have been responsible for raising Raknol in the first place.
Hmm.
I'm going to take 2 guesses as to who posited that particular theory.
Go right ahead.
Would it be a rather cranky bird-like librarian?
No, Miss Quoot has been busy with her own research as of late.
All right then.
All right then. Oh.
This information came from another group of intrepid investigators that went to witness a sermon that's being held outside of the city by the Death Tree.
Oh, how is the tree doing?
Still horrible and horrifying.
Oh, that's
People have
good.
died under it.
Wait, what? Why would they get near
Wait,
it?
That's not especially surprising. It is a necromantic tree, and if they're beginning to do the worship in the manner that they expect to be, it's not exactly a surprise to hear that some folks are overdoing it, staying under those boughs.
Honestly, standing under it is about as smart as standing in front of a charging
Wagon.
insert creature here.
Insert creature here.
Insert setting
it-
appropriate creature here.
It's rather like
Padre actually does say that with like a dismissive wave of his hand.
Oh my god.
it's like worshiping the god of the forge by throwing yourself onto it.
Well, in this case, there have been some that did that, but in this case, it seems more crime.
Oh.
It's something is finally starting. I see. Well, that was a matter of time, really.
I don't know if you do, Eshtal. We've had 2 cases that have come to my desk over the past couple of days. One case was a father who left his young daughter unattended and she ended up being killed. He took her body to the tree, laid it underneath the tree, and she turned into a skeleton. Her spirit and her memories, her personality, all seemingly intact.
Oh.
Very much unlike any of the other undead that we deal with here in our colony.
Earth nods.
The father was then arrested for negligence. Another
Negligence.
situation.
Just a second.
Yes.
How exactly did the girl die?
We're still working that out.
Well,
But
it was
we believe that the
accidental then?
father may have killed her in a fit of rage.
Ah, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Hmm. Nixie does quietly perk up when it's mentioned about dead raising, but she stays quiet. for now.
Dead raising.
The second?
A lover's quarrel. A dwarf gentleman and a human gentleman both had their eye on the same woman. The dwarf pushed the human under the shade of the tree where he almost instantaneously died and became a skeleton. He now has his memories and spirit as well. The dwarf is currently in a dungeon awaiting trial.
Wouldn't it be wise to put some guards around the tree?
There is some back and forth on that one.
I would love to be completely honest. I would love to have guards stationed at the tree to make sure that things stay peaceful. However, it seems that volunteers for this sort of duty are woefully lacking.
Oh, I have an idea. What if we give it to the keepers? They could build a church around it. That would keep it pretty safe.
Oh yes, the keepers. Another issue that came up.
Warren, no. Then please continue. This is going to be everything I could have possibly said.
A scuff broke out between 2 groups of keepers. They were about to have what looked to witnesses like some sort of undead mock battle. Until a strange goblin came up, cast a spell of some sort, and all of the undead crumbled to dust. It seems that there are some keepers that do not like other keepers that visit the tree outside.
Oh.
Not to mention, there is a mysterious goblin that seems to have the ability to turn undead to dust.
Well, that's not great. I
The
didn't.
past 48 hours have been exciting.
I didn't realize the
Well.
keepers were infighting. Or I kind of felt that they were like, all on the same side.
Warren, I do believe we have to have a small word about that particular bit, but we can do that aside.
Oh,
So
oh.
we leave the city for just a small sabbatical, and everything just continues to go. She gestures around, like this. I see.
It's a big city. And then, of course, it comes to my attention that the Racknall, the whole tree situation, began with our good paladin here.
Oh. What are they saying exactly?
That some meddling was done, that you cast a spell of some sort, and it caused this being called Rakanal to begin having some sort of influence over the area. At first, I had no idea what was going on. Now we have whole sermons being conducted outside the walls. Previously, you couldn't pay someone enough money to go check on things outside the walls other than keepers commanding the undead to do so. Now people are willingly going outside the walls to worship this deity, and he points right at Warren, that you brought in.
Well...
Look at the boy. Do you really think he's smart enough to have done any of that?
No, that's why I tested him, and he passed that test. And Gregian Daenor stands and slowly walks around his desk, places a hand on Warren, and then gestures to the rest of you. You two are new. Wait, hold on a minute. And he points at Ibonixus. Who are you?
Oh, wait. Oh, hell. Okay. For a second, I didn't know if Discord was picking me up. My name is Ibonixus.
Okay. And you're with them?
Yeah?
At least
Trust
for the
me,
moment.
I'm as shocked as you are.
We're very good at making friends.
For the time being, they're the newest member of our band. New to the city.
Okay, alright. And what's your name? Little Miss...
Ophelia kind of just like, she doesn't look at him, she's kind of just like, still like looking at Warren, still trying to process what the hell's going on. She's like, huh? Oh, yeah, Ophelia.
Ophelia, Ibonixus. Okay, good to meet you both. And he points to Adre and Urist. Well, at the very least, I know that you two have been partying with Warren long enough. Have you seen anything to suggest that Warren is not who he pretends to be, or who he says he is?
Oh no, Warren is exactly as he appears.
An idiot.
There is not a malicious bone in his entire body, though accidents do happen.
Man would have to double his IQ twice to start being deceptive.
Ophelia kind of like interjects. She's like, that's putting it lightly.
It's putting it lightly.
And I've known him for not even a day.
Alright, then it seems we're all on the same page. So, Warren, that's
You're an
why I
idiot.
have a hard time putting you in any sort of other situation. However, what I am going to ask you to do is take responsibility for this situation.
Oh, like a paladin. I could do that.
Yes, exactly, like a paladin.
Like a
You
paladin.
have brought forth a god that is having an impact on the population of Arkala, and I'm not sure that's a good thing. On top of that, we have another thing that is about a week away.
Oh, is it the caravan?
I
Nay,
The exile.
it grows closer to the time that's predicted.
Oh, right, that one.
Yes. We have lost contact with informants from northern outposts that we share with some of the other cities. We've heard nothing in several days. There's a man named Devarian Trucks who, with some of the other major cities, maintains a network to keep track of movements of the great beasts, to make sure that we have some sort of announcement or some sort of inclination on if there is some sort of stampede or other great threat. It hasn't been the most useful thing in recent years, but in this case, we fear that there is an invasion force coming.
Aye.
And he is coming, this exiled one, because of Racknull.
Oh, I do believe that's a bit of a stretch.
It's definitely a contributing factor,
Aye.
but
Oh?
I get a sense that they'd be coming anyways.
Really? What draws you to that conclusion?
Some friends of mine.
Interesting. We're faced with what to do. Frankly,
What?
my hands are tied. Lord Odanet has said that I am not to make any preparations for any sort of invasion or siege that may not be coming. I am not allowed or permitted to alert the population.
But of course, he has 2 walls protecting him.
Indeed. The walls have stood for longer than anyone can recollect. Who's to say they would fall now? However, I have a belief that this is different. It's not one great beast, but several that are being organized by this exiled one and a nomadic army, if my informants are to be believed.
At this point, Ophelia kind of, she lifts her head and looks at, Gregian, and, she's like, your hands are tied, what about ours? And she points at Ibn Nixus. We have no clue what the hell you guys are talking about. Who the hell's this exiled one?
Ah, well, I leave you all to fill in your new companion.
She mutters a curse in Undercommon.
Have no fear. We'll bring them up to speed.
But
We shouldn't
Ophelia
forget.
does make a good point. Your hands are not tied. You are simply citizens of Arcala. And I'm sure you would do the best for the city with your own particularly unique means.
Aye. Well, that does push up a couple of timetables then, but I do believe. Yes, I do believe that's a few things worth thinking about. In the now, how exactly? She grins. How much of this do you want me to speak with you about openly, and how much would you prefer to not hear from my lips?
Honestly, the less the better. I already have a little too much knowledge.
In that
So-
case, it's probably simply best to note that we've been asked to leave the city briefly again at the behest of someone for whom we intend to seek out a few goodies. We won't go into detail for the moment, but suffice to say that if that, presuming that all goes well, further preparations might be possible, and who knows what we might find while we're out there.
Indeed. Honestly, I have no idea what to do. There's another group that has gone to investigate something to the south, but I haven't heard back yet. Is there anything that you would recommend? Or rather, what can I do to assist the brave citizens of Arcala in these unique times.
Well, let's see. As always, any bits of magical whatsits that you happen to have would always be helpful in terms of what we're going out and questing about for. But setting that aside, eventually, I do believe that the best thing you'll be able to do for Arthkala for the moment is to try to keep the peace with the keepers, to not disallow the people's interactions with this Raknol, but to be cautious around it. And,
Oh, okay. No, you keep going. Keep going.
and perhaps at a minimum, you will want to consider just where along the wall is going to be fitting to stage a defense from, just in case something did happen. You can't do any sort of preparation, no. But you're set to man and manage the walls already. No reason you can't do an early inspection.
You're a sharp one, Urist, and yes, I have been doing many an inspection and drill. He gestures to the window where you can still hear a variety of grunts and clashes of practice weapons outside.
Ophelia kind of she stands up, kind of dusts herself off, and she's like, this might not be in my position to say anything, considering I'm not even from here, but why don't you just start spreading rumors? You don't have to be the one, but you could talk to someone that could spread them. Just hearing the idea of potentially something bad happening could pretty much set off people and start preparing for a what-if scenario. And believe me, from where I come from, rumors have just as much value as saying the truth. And they've saved my people before.
Gregian Daenor kind of furrows his brow and he gets a strange expression on his face. He glances towards the door and he says, No, that is not my style. I couldn't be doing something like that. And meanwhile, he's winking, one eye to the next, at Ophelia.
Urist just sort of...
Suit yourself.
Meanwhile, Urist is just sort of resting one hand on chin with this sort of, what do you think we're doing expression.
Billy just got here.
Anyway, regardless, aside from any physical or monetary aid you can offer at the moment, I do believe that's probably the best thing for the time being is to keep the peace and not rub this Raknol the wrong way. After all, they might be a help.
That would be good, wouldn't it? And he looks at Warren.
Warren just they kind of look behind him, like, oh no, wait, you're looking at me.
You're the paladin of this risen deity, young Warren. What kind of deity is Raknol?
Well, he's a little grumpy. It takes a little bit to get to know him. He doesn't like to, now he's, I don't know what he's doing. He likes to hide now. I don't know. But I can ask to see if he'll do something about that tree. He seems to be more about, keeping the... I don't think would very much appreciate, the living becoming the dead so rapidly like that. That doesn't seem like his style. He seems to be more like, the dead are the dead, the living are the living, separation sort of thing.
Likes his meal split up onto different plates then, huh?
Yes. He thinks about it for a second, like, it's like, why are we talking about his food? I don't know what he eats.
First gives a little nudge. Warren, do you remember what the trio of dictates you were given were?
Let me see. I might have them written down somewhere. Where's my notes?
You're right. You're just about right on it. But there was a particular phrasing and cadence to it.
Uh-oh. What were they again?
First nods and crosses her arms, reciting back in a modest parody of Ragnall's voice. For the living to live, for the dying to die, and for the undead to be undead.
Just sort of living, living keep on living, dead keep on dead, and the undead keep on undead. It seems very simple.
Greg and Danor kind of scrunches his face and he says, "What the hell does that mean?"
Well, to perhaps drop the simplest little hint, it turns out that Ragnall has declared a claim upon the undead at large. They consider them their, well, I suppose their people essentially, and they're not too fond of the mindless ones. Hence, recent events.
Yes, that's why I'm just like, well, the living are turning them, like, they're not living, they're killing themselves. That's not good. I don't think Ragnall's tree, he would like his little tree to do that. That would be bad. I just gotta explain it to him. I'm sure he'll understand and, like, put up a dome over his tree or something like that.
Would it be that simple?
All
right, Warren. Go talk to your deity. See what can be done to keep the people safe. In the meantime, I'm going to think about all this stuff that you've told me. And he looks over at Ophelia and Ibonixis. Welcome to the party.
He's kind of like, what a welcome it's been.
What a welcome it's been.
Nixie just smiles nervously, but doesn't say anything.
Ophelia gives her like a head pat.
Right. Well, he taps his claw on his desk a few times, and for a moment you can see that you can almost physically see the weight of the city that's on his shoulders at the moment, and the way he leans back against his desk, crosses his arms over his chest, then finally nods to the door. Go on, then.
One's like, okay.
Ernest gives a nod and cuts a little bow. Don't worry. We'll be about.
Good. I look forward to some good news for once.
Unrelated. Doing Ernst imitating Ragnall is something I didn't expect to do today.
You did good. You did really good. Yeah.
Like, I'll need to go to my room in the Axen Boot and begin praying to Ragnall. I could summon him again and perhaps discuss this whole tree business, yes.
Yeah, don't be summoning any deities in the middle of my office, please.
Oh, I thought we'd left. Sorry.
So you all leave then.
I was like, oh shit.
So what do you do with all of this information?
I think we all need a stiff drink.
F&A.
Aye.
Get the drinks ready.
Okay.
I do. Aye, that sounds like a good start. Then beyond that, we can explain a thing or two to our newest newcomers, and of course, we should fill them in a little bit on the goings in and goings on, and see if they do indeed want to persist in hanging about with the likes of us.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and place you all here inside the Axen Boot, where you sit for the afternoon, have perhaps an early dinner, or maybe you start with just drinks and snacks first, and you spend the time catching Ophelia and Ibonixis up on the situation. From the first tunneling bugs that came up into this very tavern that banded you all together in the first place, to, with whispered breath, the hole in the wall off to the northeast, where you discovered signs of magical meddling and runic magic. You discovered Rocky. You discovered a variety of plots passing in and out through the city. Your interaction with the nomads and how they stabbed Adre in the hand in order to make a strange magical communicative bond. You catch them up on the Exiled One, the God Slayer that he is, or was, and this invasion force that seems intent upon Arkala that has not yet arrived, but seems to be marching across the horizon. And in the center of all of this, Raknul, a deity that claims to be, or a being that claims to be a deity of undeath, that whispers of wishing for undeath to be its domain, that says that the keepers are not to be trusted, that says that the natural flow of this world has been interrupted. You catch them all up on this, and this is where we are going to end tonight's session.